So this is the Dreame X40 Ultra. Now they did send this for a review, but of course, as always, there's no funds exchange. We definitely keep it unbiased as always. Now, if you're familiar with the other Dreames, which I'll get to, it's very similar. That on the top, they have the two bins, one for the wastewater tank, which I'll show. We'll empty that one here in a second. And then they also have the clean water tank. Now, I find on this model, these tanks are a lot larger, which is pretty cool. Now, supposedly there's this hot water option that will wash the pads with hot water. Now, how hot that is. The bag for the vacuum, it just pops right off. And then really, if you really wanted to, you could empty some of it out and extend the longevity of the bag, but they're fairly easy to replace and swap and throw out, depends on what you want to do. Well, one difference I did find between the L10, which I'll show in a second, is the actual detergent. They changed that. You can actually open it up and put your own detergent inside if you want to. You cannot use detergent if you want to just use water, whatever. It's all configurable. I do like that change. But down on the bottom, they basically have these little things that go through. It actually cleans and spins the mop pads on these, and then it rinses them, cleans them, and sucks the water back out. You do get some dirt debris in there. You can clean that just by popping this thing out to clean it if you need to once it gets too nasty. Not too hard to do. Typical deal with mopping vacuum. Same thing for this plate here. Lifts up, you can clean it, bring it to the sink, do your thing. It's that easy. Now I found there's no water tank like on the Eufy model. It's just the straight up for the vacuum, and it does have the little filter inside. If you do get something large like one of these little bread ties, you just pull it out. You can clean that filter out, and you should every once in a while. But it's pretty no frills, no maintenance, much on that side of things. Now, party on the back this is where you get the two mop pads. And this is different from the Eufy one. There's no like paint roller style. These actually do spin and clean the floor. It's supposed to push down. You can pop those off. They are just magnetic. You can see it just said it removed. Now you'll notice one difference is with this one here is you can see it has this part here. That's it actually for it to kick out. So you'll see in some of the parts of the video, it actually kicks out to clean the baseboards, which is a pretty neat feature. I haven't seen that on some of the other models. Also, they kept that same feature on the side brush. It actually, I don't know if pry it out, but you'll see in the videos, it actually pops itself out to get into some of the corners. Now, one thing they did send also was this tri-cut brush. And it's supposed to, which it seems to be doing a good job. I don't see any hair buildup, except maybe, well, that's just fuzz. There's no hair buildup on this thing, and we've been using it for several different jobs around the house, and the wife does have long hair, so it's been doing the job. Actually, inside here are some blades that where it cuts the hair, so it can actually, vacuum those hairs up instead of them getting tangled. So we're doing the living room test with the muddy footprints. Didn't have any cane sauce this time, so we just threw ketchup. Had to stick with the Whataburger ketchup, of course, for the best flavor. And we'll see if the mop can get the thing up without leaving all the dirty footprints and everything on the floor. Got a little bit of popcorn, some other stuff, but we'll do some vacuum test after with some dirt like we normally do. So this is after one pass. Didn't get up any of the ketchup. The footprints, I would say not much at all for the muddy footprints. So it did leave some like stripes. You can see it like left a stripe here, but then it kind of cleaned. And then over here it cleaned. That's from like the two pads, and it leaves that gap in the middle between the two pads. You can see the pads are pretty dirty, but yeah, we'll let it wash the pads. I'll give it another pass and we'll see what it does. Yeah, but nothing really substantial to like really say it does a great job at mopping, like especially if a dog walked in or whatever. I'm gonna try the other mop and I wanna see if this will get any of this up with the other mop I've used before. There's only like a few spots that the Eufy didn't pick up. But yeah, compared to all of it on the muddy footprints that the Dreame left, I'm gonna say the Eufy is actually the winner for doing the mopping. Definitely different from like the paint roller style, like on the Eufy, that does complete coverage and then overlaps it. This one actually leaves that line between the center pads. You can see one here, and then you kind of see another one over here. I bet you if I went over, you'd probably find another one over in here somewhere as well. Yeah, we'll see. We'll got the way. Yeah, you see how it does that line. It needs to overlap more, or the pads need to be a little bit bigger, because that does leave lines all throughout the floor sometimes when it dries. So both of these are the Dreame. Now this is the L10 versus the X40. Now, of course, the L10 doesn't have those kick-out brushes on the bottom. It doesn't have the kick-out other side brush. Also does not have the tri-cut brush. You can actually see there is some hair tangled up on it right now that the vacuum didn't get. So that's kind of cool that they have that tri-cut on there. There's no light on the front, but there is that AI camera. Same type deal. They are the same size. Now, one of the cool things I know you're probably thinking of, well, hey, can we put like local control firmware, that Valetudo, whatever, how they pronounce it? Yes, I did look. The X40 is supported as the L10 is. So definitely looking forward to doing that in the future. I do have the PCBs for that. And I'm probably going to start out with this one just to see how well it works before I jump to the big boy. But the price difference is major between these. This one I think was running like around $1,400 versus I think we got this one like refurbished. If you can check out eBay and stuff like that and different sales, you can get these for like $500 or less. And even I saw the X20 was even cheaper as that. So down to, I guess, would you buy one? Absolutely, if you want something that needs those corners done and the side, you know, like the quarter rounds and everything with the kick out brushes and the kick out side brush definitely works a lot better compared to the other model. But can I say price difference? Should you pay a ton more for the X40 versus the L10 or some of the cheaper X20s you can get refurbished? I'm just going to tell you flat out no on that. Just the value just isn't there. If you're going to jump into that $1,400 range, I would highly recommend going with the Eufy model that we've reviewed before. Definitely, I prefer that paint roller mopping. It definitely gets things up a lot better. So, but maybe we'll show all that together if we do some sort of shootout type deal between a lot of different vacuums that we have. Just to do some comparisons of what's good and bad out there on things. So that'll about do it for this one. I do appreciate Dreame for sending the X40 for review. Of course, as always, no funds were exchanged. We definitely keep it unbiased, and I do appreciate all the YouTube and Patreon members out there. Definitely couldn't do it without you, and y'all take care. 30 seconds.